session. We're at Farmers Market and my crew is taking over. I'm taking a little break to answer your questions about the Masterclass. And Suleka will be asking me questions and I'll be answering them in the best way I can. So,
John wants to know, he says, I've read your book at least 10 times and it's been my Bible since I started my project. Is the Masterclass just a video version of your book? Will I learn anything new?
all right, John, that is a really good question. And the answer is a total yes. Okay, so the Market Gardener is a really good book to lay out the foundation of how you need to set up your market garden and the philosophy behind it. And it gives you also the basics, the basic tools, the basic skills, and the basic techniques. But that's like the 101. If you want to get to the next level, you'll need a lot more than what's in the Market Gardener because there's a lot of things in the book that I couldn't just go in detail or show or explain because it wouldn't make any sense to not have it in the right context. So the Masterclass, the reason why I decided to do it is because I could go much deeper into all aspects of growing the veggies and filming and editing so that for you, it's really also entertaining. So we go into depth of how to do everything, little details, and John, I'll just tell you one thing, those little details, they count. So the way you pull out your carrots and the way you bunch them and the way you lay them out at farmers market, there's a million variations to this, but after 15 years of doing this myself, I've established guidelines and protocols of how I want things to be done because I've learned that they give better results. And so, long story short, yes, it's an upgrade. And if you've liked the Market Gardener, I guarantee you'll love the Masterclass and it's going to be helpful for you in many ways. The goal is to get you to the next level so that you become a really good grower. That's what we want to do here. So,
okay, next question. Good. Lisa says, I run my farm solo and it's only 2/3 of an acre. I do not have fancy tools or BCS. And when I see your video, you have quite a big operation. Do you think there's something in the course for me?
Lisa, that's also a great question. And you'll see that I'm not a salesman because the answer to that is that if you're farming, 1/3 of an acre and you're not using any hand tools and you're not wanting to be more efficient and you're not wanting to learn better practices to get more done in less time, I'm not sure that you'll be totally satisfied with the Masterclass. The Masterclass, it's not about just the tools and it's not about being bigger. It's not about that. It's just about finding the way, the technique, and the strategy and or the tool to make you go faster and to give better result with the same amount of energy. So that's in the context of you wanting to really crush it or really kind of develop your thing. It doesn't need to be scaled up. It just means, I want to be 30% more productive in my project. Then how are you going to get there? Sometimes it's the tool. Sometimes it's the technique. Sometimes it's just understanding how things work. Sometimes it's knowing that, tomatoes can be grown in greenhouses and if you heat them, that's what happens. So, is it worth it for you? I'm not sure, I don't know. But that's what the Masterclass does. It helps you become more professional and it helps you get better results. So if that's what you want, then you'll find that. If you're looking for something else, then I don't know, perhaps check out Curtis. Shout out to Curtis. I love you, bro. Okay.
Okay, next question. So Kirk says, I'm in Louisiana and the climate is very hot and humid. And I know you're from Canada and you do vegetable in the winter, so I don't know if the technique will apply.
There's a truck that's here. I'm sorry, guys. Kirk, in Louisiana, all right. French-speaking Louisiana, I love it. I've been to Louisiana. I know how it's hot. I've given workshops there. A lot of the techniques of how we do things, the tools that we use, the methodology will be the same, hot or cold climate, Africa or Louisiana or Quebec. So there's a lot of things in the masterclass that are universals. There's a lot of intangibles that I don't really go in details with. So in the masterclass, I don't go in detail about exactly how you should market, exactly how you should fertilize, exactly what kind of biopesticide you should be using for which crop problem, because these are all specific to where you're at. So I've stayed away from that to try and make it as universal and global as possible. What I can tell you, Kirk, is that we have students from 55 different countries. There's more than 1,000 students in the masterclass, and so far that has not been an issue with no one or nobody of the masterclass. So people from all countries are getting something out of it, and enough for them to feel that it's worth it. So that's the honest truth. So I don't know if it's the right move for you, but I know that you guys have a lot of opportunities down there. It's happening in Louisiana. And so my gut feeling is that if it's happening, you need to get just the know-how to take you to the next level and become more prolific, bring more stuff at market, make more money, take more time off in the summer if you can, when it's too hot.
Okay, good. So Alex says,
My friends from Arcade Fire just moved to Louisiana. So you guys have a pretty cool community, I'm pretty sure.
so Alex says, I'm so effing busy doing everything on the farm, and I don't have time to sit hours and hours in front of the computer. How much time do I need to invest to get the best out of my course?
All right, so Alex, you don't have time to sit in front of the computer. I don't also. So I totally relate. I would say the masterclass, it would be something that you study in the off season. I don't know if your off season when it is or how it is, but at least you probably have a couple of weeks. And then what I suggest, and that's what I promote, and I tell the people that work with me on the farms, that take the winter months or the downtime to study the masterclass, to get prepared for the next season, to really go in detail. That's what's great about the masterclass, is that you have all the steps filmed. So let's say it's winter and you're not in your garden, then you can visualize what needs to happen for your carrots, for your peppers, for your tomatoes, for your season extension strategies. You can buy the material, you can lay down your plan, and then in the summer, when you're too busy, then you can take your phone and simply visit the video and say, okay, how was JM pruning the peppers? Boom, takes a minute, done, and then you know how to do it, and then you do it. But I would suggest taking time to kind of do the overview of everything, and that's going to prepare you for the season. And then, the course can be on your laptop, it could be on your phone, it could be on an iPad. There's also a lot of technical sheets that you print that you carry with you in the field. And these are the written instructions of how to do things. And, I don't claim to know everything, but I claim that everything we do really works well, and that's the reason why we do it like that. And I've trained hundreds of people on my farms and now with the masterclass in those techniques, and they work. So if you commit to the masterclass, you'll get the techniques, and then boom, you're onto yourself. But perhaps the winter month or your time off would be a better time to get into the class so that you can invest more in it. So.
Also, they have lifetime access.
Yeah. Yeah, it's lifetime access. So, you can subscribe now and then look at it later. You'll have lifetime access. And the goal for me is that all the new strategies, all the new educational material that I come up with, I put it in the masterclass. And so it's like a bank account. So you'll have a lot of stuff that you'll digest over many, many years, because it's not a shallow course. Like, I don't go into shallow steps. Like, I go in details with all the things, and then I try as much as I can to explain to you the principles, the why and the how and the what of why this works. And so it's a lifetime access, but it's probably, I don't want to say a lifetime process, but it's you'll be learning a lot of things over many, many years. So I don't know if I think that's realistic.
Yeah. Okay, next question. So Emily says, I see there's quite a few other farming online courses out there. I'm checking them out. How is yours different?
So Emily says there's a lot of farming courses out there. I know Connor from NeverSync teaches one. Curtis had one a few years ago. There's one, I think Richard at Ridgedale has a. I think the Market Gardener is very different, the Masterclass, because it's really in detail about production. I don't go in length about where you should be selling, what prices you should be going to. The business side is not yet into the cards, perhaps later. We're working on that, but really focusing on top-notch, high-level professional production with hand tools, just like I was doing on my baby farm, and now I'm doing on my grown-up farm, if you want, like the big farm out there. But that's the difference. So you're really going in depth with a lot of instructions, a lot of videos, and it's highly entertaining. So I don't want to downplay my friends, because all these three are my friends, but it's another level if you're interested in vegetable production. If you're interested in, whole farm design, if you're interested in microgreens, if you're interested in, urban farming per se, and then, you only have 10 beds, perhaps the Masterclass is not for you. But if you're a grower and you're going to farmers market and you're bringing produce and you want to bring more produce or better quality produce, or you want to be more efficient, or you want to teach your crew how to do things, then the Masterclass is good because you have instructions. So when you're telling or teaching some people from your crew, you're prepared because you have the instructions, so then you can give them the right instructions. So anyway, and I think there's a 30-day or 10-day money-back guarantee. So you can check it out. If you don't like it, or if you've taken the other classes and you think it doesn't compare, then just write to us and tell them, I thought it would be this and it's that, and for whatever reason it doesn't work out for me, and then we just reimburse you. The goal is not to suck people into a class and then take their money. The goal, and I'm serious about this, the goal is to take you to the next level. And if what I teach in the Masterclass doesn't do that for you, I'm not happy and I don't want your money. But what I want is that you, wherever you're at now, will take that extra jump, like this leap of 4 or 5 years, to really bring it up, to produce better, produce more, to get more efficient, to either have more quality time for yourself or to feed more people, but whatever, that's a win-win for me, and that's the goal. So I don't know what the purpose is for the other classes out there, but yeah, and I have my own style, so everything is very dynamic. We have a super great videographer with us, Alex. He's right there in the back, thumbs up. So a lot of cool music. We try to make it entertaining so that it's not boring. I'm not just like there talking forever. And then I have a whole team. There's 4 people working full-time in the Masterclass, designing instructional booklets, trying to think how best we could serve the students of the community. And it's quite a big community. There's more than 1,000 people now, and we're really interested in networking that community to create a peer-to-peer group that's going to be supportive of you and you supporting for them. So that's, the class is like 2 years old now. So we're building this, and we'll get there. It's going to be, it's already super awesome. And we've had so many people writing or calling or texting or telling us that it's making a difference, but we're gonna bring it up a notch, and we won't charge more for it. So if you commit to it now, it's good, and I think you'll get something out of it. So anyway, shout out to Connor.
Yeah.
And Richard.
Yeah.
And Curtis.
Yeah.
And Florette.
And Florette, and
yeah,
etc.
Yeah, and whoever else.
Everybody's needed.
Everybody's needed, yeah. If I had the chance, I'd take all those classes. That's beautiful. Yeah,
great. So Paul says, first I want to thank you. Your book has been an inspiration.
Thank you, Paul. Appreciate it.
And I've had a large home garden for years, and I'm dreaming about going pro.
Well,
I'm really interested.
That's the dream, Paul.
I'm really interested, but I'm worried I'm too much of a newbie. Do you think I could take your course and learn?
All right, Paul, I have to give you my speech that I've given so many times. I think if the passion is there, you should listen to it. That's really important. And you don't need to have a huge farm. You don't need to have a crew. You could go to the local farmer's market and sell what you're growing out of your garden. That's what market gardening is. And then from there, you can decide to scale it up or whatever. This being said, if your goal is to have a successful small farm and you want to farm a few acreage, then I would suggest working on a farm, somebody else's farm, at least 1 year, full time. And perhaps taking a leave from your current work, and it's going to, I don't know how old you are, but it's probably going to be a huge pay loss, or what do you say, pay cut. But doing a full year on a farm allows you to understand at the cellular level, like what it implies to be under the rain, under the sun, under pressure, under long days of production, picking stuff, harvesting, failures, whatever. And that's really important, because before jumping into it, you need to know when you have hardships and hard times, you love it enough to go through those, because they're there. Farming is not easy. But then again, if there's an opportunity for you to bring your produce at farmer's market and you can get 30 people on your local CSA, you don't need to have 10 years of experience. And if you follow the right guidelines, if you know how to do things in the right sequence and the right way, you'll be successful. I don't want to oversell and underdeliver or bullshit anyone, but if people in your farming community don't have access to a course like the Masterclass and you do, I'm pretty sure that rapid enough you'll bring higher quality stuff than most other growers out there, because what we do works, and it works really well. And we go in details about the why and the how. So if you follow the steps and you don't take any shortcuts with what I teach, you'll get to the same results that I get every year on different farms with different people doing the same thing. And that's the whole strategy behind teaching the Masterclass.
We will take one last question.
One last question, and then I'm going back. There's a lot of people at the booth.
So David says, I really love your stuff, but I'm not so good at computers.
Yeah.
Do I need to be computer savvy?
Yeah, David, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, David, you don't need to be computer savvy. You just need to have ears and eyes, because we're filming everything, and you just need to see it. And then there's a technical sheet that follows the instruction written down of what I teach in front of the lens. And so it's not about computers. There's an Excel spreadsheet with charts to do your crop planning. You'll need to sit down with your computer at that time. It's going to help you tremendously. I would say that the crop planning part of the Masterclass is one of the highlights. It's really one tool that has helped a lot of growers, really synthesize and get really well prepared for the next season. But besides that, perhaps connecting with the peer group through Facebook or through there's a Q&A inside the class. Computer, that's it, eh? Yeah. Perhaps for invoicing your veggies, you'll need that. So that was the last questions. But before I leave you guys, I just wanted to say we've had, I think, there's 1,100 people in the class now, and we're building a community, and that's the goal, and it's a worldwide community. I think we've had 6 people not totally satisfied with the class, and I'm not bullshitting here, so I think it's really good, and we're hiring people to make this even better. And I don't want to promise anything, but I'm still working on the class. I'm still developing new content that is very specific. And so what I would say to you is that if you're not sure and you're on the fence and I would say just do it, because it's going to help you and you're going to make money. Just the tools and the discounts that we have with all the companies that we work with that support the Masterclass. A lot of students have written to us to say that it has paid plus the class, the course, the tuition of the class, just with the discounts of the tools. And so, anyway, if the Masterclass is not for you and you're doing really well without it, fine. That's what we want. We want more growers. But you see, this doesn't happen by chance. The success that we have here happens because we do things the right way and we know how to do things. And over the years, I've become quite good at teaching and passing down this information, and also developing new stuff. And so it's an invitation, check it out. And if anything else, I will see you there. JM out.